this number has increased. I think it's 25 or 26, but these are, at least as of last week, the states that have banned the box. And so if you are in one of those states, you are required to eliminate in your application, have you ever been convicted of a crime? Okay. You have to not only remove it from there, you have to remove it from your interview questions and your careers page. And do not forget, share this with your managers because they interview. Okay. So if you are not in violation, but you haven't shared with your managers that this is a regulation, that's not going to be good for you because you're defeating the purpose of having protection. Again, go back to this slide as a list. Okay. And let's define it. We're looking again at the matrix. So your background checks include not only removing the ban the box, that little application box, which I have in the slides here, but it also means that you should, for all employees, especially for criminal background, ban the box. It doesn't mean you can't run a background check. It means you have to submit the background check after an offer of employment. After. Okay, can't do it before. And the biggest issue of this is, and people forget, if you do reject an applicant, okay, or someone you've offered a job to, because of their criminal history, you have to notify the employee or the potential employee. You have to do several steps, have a pre-adverse notice given within 5 days, okay, and then an additional notice. Right, so you have to follow certain guidelines. So it's not just saying, okay, I won't ask them, but if I find out, okay, by a legal background check, okay, which you are able to do, now I'm going to have to, reject him. And so the decision matrix is one way, and it's a really effective way for you to prepare for ban the box, okay, before you reject an employee. If you do it after, it's still better than not. And so giving you an example, if you are offering a person a position in sales, okay, you can't ask him if he's ever convicted if you're in one of those states, okay, but you do have the authority to run a background check, okay, which of course I recommend you do. And when you do find out the results, and the results state that he had a felony theft, well, you're not going to feel so comfortable about hiring this person, and you may say, I don't think I want this person. Then you have to explain it. You have to go through a process, okay? And you are subject to, especially since this is a newer law, okay, allegations of negligent hiring or of wrongful hiring, okay, or non-hiring. And as I said, it doesn't have to be true. You have to dispute it, okay? This decision matrix, which I created, okay, lists the type of charges on the left, the time frame that a company will say, I don't mind if this person smoked marijuana 20 years ago, let's say, okay? So you may put on the list of those regulations and convictions that you're okay with or that you do not want, okay? You are allowed to do that based on your policies. So an easy example of that is if you hire someone and then find out that they were a sex offender and you're working with either children or, in my mind, anyone, you might not want that person. And in fact, that could be negligent hiring, charges for you. So what do? Before you use the process, develop your matrix. I can help you with it. Okay, this has been researched to be successful. And so if you, before a rejection, okay, develop this decision matrix and you are charged, for discrimination against someone with a criminal history, you can prove that you have a matrix, decisions on certain crimes and certain positions. Okay, and so I do have a training just on this and ban the box, which has been really helpful, and we go step by step on this. But I'm giving you at least the opportunity to see what will be helpful. Okay. Not going to talk too much about independent contractors or employees. This is on misclassification, which you don't want to do. You want to make sure that they're either an employee or an independent contractor. Okay. So here's some more trending. Okay. I mentioned some. These are the trending regulations. You will see that they overlap with many, many things and many changes. Okay, so you want to make sure that you see what the list is. And as you can see, if we had slides for all of these, we'd be here forever and you may not like me too much. So these are new laws and regulations for 2016 to 2018, which you will see that these are step by step. These are things that need to be in your employee handbook, okay? You want to make sure these are the ones. I put it in a checklist so you can be aware, okay? Some of these are very, very, high risk. For example, Family Medical Leave Act, okay? New notification regulations. And by the way, Family Medical Leave, okay, has a new form. Again, it's not a new form. It's the same form, but the expiration date is different. So make sure you use, or your third-party administrator uses the new form. Okay, don't give away your money. That could be a violation. Okay, now there's many, many issues that are trending on data privacy. Most of you are aware about the General Data Protection Regulation in the EU. Okay, that's international. But California has been the first state, which it usually is, that has high protections for privacy. Okay, so if you're in California, okay, reach out to me. I'll help you. Okay, but data privacy is now not only international, it's starting to trend in the States. Marijuana use regulations, okay? Not, at this point, there's a clash of how to be able to best manage that. Okay, there's the new labor poster changes, which I mentioned to you before, meals and breaks, okay? And, ban the box, and also off the clock work. If you have non-exempt employees, those are employees eligible for overtime, and they are working off the clock, whether you approve it or not, okay, that is one of the trending violations that are happening because it has to do with overtime. So if you have, like many corporate offices, people who eat at their desks, continue to check emails, continue to read emails, okay, and picture your clerks or your administrative assistants as they go home and you email them and they check their email. Those hours must be counted. So you want to make sure you prepare yourself for that. That's going to be one of Margie's predictions that are going to trend in a very high volume in the first quarter of 2019. Here's another free tip. This one's really good. Employee handbook free tip that has been proven to reduce workplace litigation and fines and penalties against workplace allegations. Okay? If you include a mediation clause in your handbook stating something to the effect that employees will utilize